What is up, guys? OW2 here bringing you guys another video. I know it's been a while. I apologize for that. The internet got in such a state where it was just unusable for the longest time, so I couldn't really do anything with videos. But Overwatch 2 beta is here. This is the second set of patch notes. I am finally able to make content on it. And with that, it's going to be kind of a big video. I want to give my thoughts on the beta as a whole first. And just before anybody says anything in the comments, oh my god, this is a beta, this is a beta. I know this is a beta. I know things are going to change in future betas. This isn't like a Call of Duty beta where the game is ready to ship and it's 2 weeks to launch. This is an actual beta test as it was intended to be used. And we're going to get multiple of these, and they're all going to have different changes, and some of them are going to add new characters and what have you. So I understand before I even talk about Overwatch 2 that this is a beta. Tank roll feels a little rough, as it probably would with losing an extra tank. The whole game has to be rebalanced around that. The whole tank cycle has to be rebalanced around that. Like there are some kits that still feel like they play as though you have an off tank or a main tank. Doom's rework, for example, would be fine in Overwatch 1, I think. I don't think it plays very well in Overwatch 2. I think it suffers from the problem of it being a little too divey without any other option for versatility like Winston has now. Winston has a right click. He doesn't have to just dive all the time. He can sit there and poke from range and, get healed up, recover, and then go back in. Doom doesn't feel that way. Doom, you have to commit. Your team has to play dive. Otherwise, Doom gets no value. Not to mention, I think Ana can actually sleep Doom out of his new cooldown that lets him take reduced damage and charge. Like, it's weird. So basically, he puts his hands in front of him and he takes reduced damage, and all the damage he eats ends up generating power similar to what Zarya does. Except for in his case, he cashes out that power with his punch. So if the enemy team doesn't shoot Doom, Doom doesn't get any value out of that, and Doom basically feels kind of rough. So he's in a very rough spot. Ball, I would say, is in the same boat. Ball goes in. If the rest of the team doesn't help Ball go in with like a dive comp, Ball gets no value. He can be a disruptor in the backline all he wants, but if the enemy team can't push forward, or if your team can't push forward because the enemy team is basically a rock wall, if they have Reinhardt on their team, then Ball just gets no value. Like I said, I think Ryan is probably the best tank in the game. He can pin cancel now, so he can use pin to close space. He can use pin to do some like cheeky tech where he takes people off the edge. He gets 2 fire strikes now, so he actually has something to do in the neutral when he's not pushing. He can throw out fire strikes. They, of course, only deal 90 now instead of 100, but that's really not that big of a loss, honestly. He loses his one-shot potential with Baptiste, of course, on the rare occasion that actually comes up. But at the end of the day, I think these changes are good for Ryan because it gives him something else to do while he's waiting to get close enough to actually swing. I'd say Ryan again is the most complete tank in this beta. Zarya, she didn't really get changed too much, and I would almost argue her changes are kind of a nerf. They're kind of not, kind of are, because both her bubbles are on the same cooldown. So she can either bubble herself twice now, or she can bubble 2 different allies, or she can bubble herself and an ally, similar to how Overwatch 1 works. The problem is that both these bubbles are on a recharge cooldown, and they both share the same cooldown. So it's almost like having the same bubble in Overwatch 1 in how it's going to be used a majority of the time. Roadhog, he is still Roadhog. He can get a pick in the back line, potentially get a hook, either even displaced like a diva or something, and maybe you can blow her up really quick before she can get back to her team. I think Roadhog is decent. He's Roadhog. He does what he does. Who else am I missing here? Orissa's rework is very interesting, I'll say that. I don't think that it's a great rework. I think it's something that once people get used to, it won't be as powerful as it seems. Like right now, she basically got her shield removed in exchange for a defense matrix that lets you push forward and also knocks people off the map, essentially. It basically boops people away while blocking all projectiles coming in to make her safe with it. Um, she lost Halt as well and now has a javelin that she throws at people. It's very gimmicky, and I'm pretty sure if it hits you and it goes to the wall, you basically die similar to Doomfist. It's like a ranged Doomfist that doesn't have the penalty of being forced to go into the enemy team comp in order for it to work. And she still has her Fortify, which is just, Fortify. Her ultimate got changed from Supercharger to this weird, I think, what's it called, Terra Surge or something like that, where she vacuums everybody in really quickly, and you can walk out of it. It's not like you're trapped in it once you're in it, but it charges up, and if it gets to max charge, you're going to kill almost anybody that has 250 health. I think to kill a 200 health hero, you have to charge it to at least 80%, which is a very long time. They can easily get out of it. So unless your team does some like CC stuff like sleep, or because there's no stun on Cassidy anymore either. I'm trying to think of like what you could even do to like keep people inside of it to guarantee 100% charge or 80% charge. It's very hard to get max value out of it. I think more times than not, you're going to just put people at 1 HP unless you're nanoed. Um, I guess we can talk about DPS next. DPS feel fine. Some of the changes they made, like to Sombra, Cassidy, um, Bastion, for example, I think those are great changes. I think the Sojourn buff from the last patch is a little bit dangerous because Sojourn's beam can actually one tap somebody if it hits a headshot, and increasing the width on it makes it very easy to hit headshots. Surprisingly, I would say that that is a concern. Not to mention that you don't even actually need 100% charge to kill somebody with it. I'm pretty sure in most cases, if you're using it correctly in a fight, you're shooting somebody. If you can get them to half health, usually within that amount of bullets, I will say, for the charge, because it charges based on how many shots you put into a target, you have to actually hit something. Normally, you have enough energy to just right click from there and it guarantees a kill. You don't have to get 100% charge. I mean, you're more within your power to, but at the end of the day, you don't actually have to get to 100 energy and then right click to kill somebody. You just have to get them down to like 50 health, 50% health, and then cash out a right click, and more times than not, it kills. Or it's close to. Sombra's changes were very interesting. I know a lot of people were kind of worried about him because she could hack from stealth. I will say the 1 second lockout of your abilities, I haven't seen it used in a way that is insane yet. Uh, that's just me personally. Like, I was expecting people to run around behind, like a Reinhardt, for example, in a Reinhardt duel, and you hack the enemy Reinhardt, and then your Rein already shatters, which then pushes out. And by the time it gets to the enemy Rein, when the shield goes down from the hack, it then hits everybody and stuns them, and then you're off to the races, right? I haven't seen too much of that. Cassidy was the other big change. He lost his flashbang because they wanted to take stuns away from DPS and healers. And now he has this sticky grenade where if you're close to a target, it basically locks on, latches on, and sticks to them and then blows them up for I think 125 damage. I'm pretty sure is what it deals. It's like a Junkrat bomb. So what this means is basically if you're in a group situation like Zarya grabs or something, you can throw that sticky bomb into that grab and you're going to nuke people for 125. And I'm pretty sure it hits everybody for 125. I don't know what the fall off radius is, but I've had some experiences with it on, say, Lijiang Tower. It's not Garden, it's the actual tower. I can't think of what it's called. It's not Night Market either. It's the other one. It's the third one. But they were in the little cubby hole, and I threw it. It stuck somebody. They blinked back into their team, and everybody was still grouped up, and it smashed everybody in that pocket room for 125. Gives you a lot of ult charge as well. I think Bastion is the other big change. Him being able to move around in turret form, and this is I think they took away the ability to headshot in that turret form, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember if he can do it in Overwatch 1 right now or not. I don't think he can headshot in Overwatch 1 either. But if he can, they took it away in Overwatch 2. And he still hits like a truck in that turret form. It is a cooldown. I think it's like 13 seconds or 12 seconds, but the amount of time you have in that form, you can very easily clean up a team fight with it. Um, what else? May's changes were pretty interesting. She does a lot more damage now with her left click. It's pretty insane if you can get like a grab going and just hold down left click on them. You'll usually clean up a grab pretty quick with it. Um, what else is there? I think that's it for the DPS changes. I know they nerfed Soldier a little bit with his movement speed because for some reason they gave all DPS a 10% movement speed buff, and I don't understand that one in particular. Just for being DPS, you get 10%. Like the tanks, they get alt charge generation nerf. They get what is it? Knockback resistance. Now everybody has it, not just Reinhardt. And I think the healers have a passive heal similar to what Mercy does now. So before reading this, because this patch here is the support category, I want to talk about supports. Supports were very difficult to play. The main problem is that you are already having issues with people not peeling for you as a support in mid to low elo. Upper elo, you'd get the occasional peel here and there, but with tanks, with losing an off tank that used to go and help your healers essentially, or sit with your healers, and Cassidy not being able to stun anymore, it's made dive really, really strong against supports. Ana is the only support that can actually defend herself with the sleep dart now. So it made them very easy to go after. And what's funny is that every single game I played in the Overwatch 2 beta after like the first week, everybody was sitting there like, oh my god, now you supports actually have to learn to play the game. You can't just sit behind a shield all game. You can't sit behind a shield all game. You have to learn to play the game. It's like, no, that's not the problem. The problem is that we're being dove in the backline and there's nothing you can do about it. You either kill them, and in doing so, more than likely your tank dies because he's not paying attention to what's happening to his healers. And then he complains in the chat all game about how he's not being healed. And it's like, dude, we're being dove in the backline. Can you turn around and help us? That's not my problem. Learn to play without a shield. It's like, it's like a vicious circle. It's like a catch 22. In order for your tank to get healed, he has to help you. But in order to help you, he has to actually be paying attention to you. And neither of those two things are ever going to happen. So supports felt a little rough. And I'm not saying that support should be untouchable, unkillable gods that just sit there and heal bot all game. That's not what I'm saying, but I am saying they need a little bit of help here, and I'm hoping this patch here gives us that help. Regenerative Burst for Baptiste. This change helps reinforce Baptiste as a support hero that can save allies in clutch moments. This new functionality is intended to synergize with Immortality Field, allowing for faster recovery after saving his allies or himself from imminent danger. Now heals for 50 instantly and 50 over time instead of 100 over time. Additionally, the instant heal portion will be doubled on targets that are 50% or lower. Please note that we are aware of an issue where this ability is not updated on the hero information screen. No longer heals Baptiste for double. Okay, so Baptiste is going to be really, really good in Brawl comp, or any comp that isn't dive, it feels like, because that's essentially what his kit is now, or he has to dive with the dive, either way. I guess he's just all around good now. So if anybody's low, they immediately get 100 health back if they're below 50%. So that's basically a full heal, essentially. Because if you are at 49% and Bat pops this, you get 100 health back, and more than likely you're just going to go back up to like 190 or something, which is essentially full health, right? So it's going to be very powerful. Uh, but it does still require your team to play together as a unit, which is something I was not seeing in the beta very often. So he's still dependent on people playing together in order to get that value. I do like this change. I think it's going to be very good. I think comps like Ryan that want to brawl you are going to be very strong now because of this. Because you're going to be able to keep your off healer up, or you're going to be able to keep your 2 DPS up if they're, stacking with you, shooting past the Ryan shield. Say if somebody dives them in the back line, you pop this, boom, 100%. The dive is basically canceled. This is going to actually be a nerf for Genji as well. They have just absolutely crapped on Genji this entire time, and you may be wondering what I mean by that. Well, Zenyatta was weak to dive, right? So what did they give him? They gave him the ability to boop people away with a melee kick now, and the boop is quite far. It's like a Lucio boop. And that was already really, really good against Genji. Like, every one of these changes is essentially just crapping on Genji, and I keep thinking about that, and it keeps making me laugh. So Genji's going to dash in now, right? He's going to slice Bap. Bap is going to go to half health, roughly. He's going to hit this, instantly heal for 100. Swing again. Immortality field comes down now. Swing again. Have to kill immortality. Swing again. And he's just not going to get value. Not to mention Bap can be jumping up and down during all this as well. So if he dives Bap, he can't actually get onto Bap. Dude, they just do not like Genji. I don't know why. Guardian Angel. This is an initial implementation of new functionality designed to give Mercy players more options in how they use GA. So I'm guessing it's just like the Mercy hop tech that a lot of players know how to use now on Overwatch 1. You're pretty much required to know it in order to play Mercy, it feels like, in mid to upper elo. So, fun fact, I will say that this super jump tech, as they're referring to, was originally a bug where you had to, what was it? It was actually easy to pull off on console back in the day before they changed it. I actually don't like the change that they made to it. You would hit your GA, you'd cancel the GA, and as you cancel the GA, you'd hit jump, and it would just send you flying. And they ended up changing this to where now you are basically you go into the target, you still kind of hit the jump button to cancel the GA, but you have to hit it at a specific timing. It's very weird. Like I haven't quite gotten it down since they changed how it functioned in Overwatch 1. Hopefully this is a change to that. Super Jump, the new functionality will allow players to more consistently perform similar boosts while the original technique is still there and remains untouched. In some ways, this new new cancel boost is even stronger than the original technique since players are able to do this at any time rather than requiring them to be near their target. This is just an implementation and we're eager to get feedback on how to improve it. Can now also be cancelled by using the crouch key. If this key is used to cancel the ability, Mercy will be launched high into the air. There you go, Super Jump. Sojourn is getting another buff, huh? Sojourn has been a little weak since her initial addition to the roster. While this change doesn't seem huge, increasing her rate of fire increases her alternate fire rate, and ultimate again, as well as purely increasing her primary fire's raw DPS. Whenever a weapon's rate of fire changes, it also changes how quickly the weapon will drain its magazine or run out of ammo. We're increasing her ammo count to compensate for this. So, Railgun's primary rate of fire increased from 13 to 15 shots per second. Railgun's maximum ammo increased from 40 to 45. So you're getting +2, and you're getting an extra 5 shots. So Sojourn is very weird, I will say that. I don't know what it is about her fire. It's not hit scan, but it's fast enough to feel like hit scan. It's like in this weird pocket dimension. Like I struggle with it. I struggle understanding where to line shots up for her. And I don't understand like why that is. It feels like hit scan in mid to close range, but my god, at long range it feels so weird. It looks so weird. Very misleading. So I'm wondering if that's not part of the problem, and I wonder if the other problem is that people just aren't using the railgun correctly on the right click for the cash out. I think what people are doing is that they're just trying to save for 100 and they're just trying to hit that juicy headshot on somebody to insta kill them rather than just sorry, trying not to sneeze. Rather than just not cashing out the damage and getting a guaranteed kill at like 50 or 60% charge. So changes to support weren't really massive. Mercy gets more survivability in the form of a super jump, and Baptiste, I think, is the big winner here outside of Sojourn in the support category anyway. Baptiste is the big winner. Uh, Bap is, I think, going to be a powerhouse healer. Like, the numbers don't look big, but then you have to remember that everybody basically has a health pool of 200 in the game outside of tanks. 250, 200, right? So it is a big deal to instantly be able to heal 100 health off of somebody when they're low. Not to mention that they just hate Genji. I don't know what it is. I'm sure we'll see Genji buffs in the next beta. We probably won't see another patch note for this current beta because the beta ends in 3 days on the 17th. So overall, I would say this patch is a little bit lackluster outside of Baptiste and Sojourn. I was really hoping for more support changes in some capacity. Like Lucio, all he's really gotten in this beta is a nerf. And they nerfed to self-healing because of the passive heal that you automatically get for being a healer or support category. Anna, she got, what is it, I think 2 extra shots in a rifle, and she got her biotic purple nerfed to where if you hit somebody with a grenade now, they are only purple for 3 seconds instead of, I think, 4 is what it was originally. Um, I don't think Brig got any major changes at all during this, outside of, I think her shield bash now boops people away even further, just to show that you landed the boop, because it was very hard to tell whether or not you actually hit somebody with a shield bash, outside of seeing their health bar and seeing that they're missing like 100 health now. That was the only way. Who else is in support that I haven't talked about? Moira hasn't gotten any changes to my knowledge, period. I think that's it, right? Bat, Mercy, Lucio, Moira, Ana. I'm pulling up a hero list right now. So Ana, Brig, Bap, Lucio, Mercy, Moira. Yeah, that's it. That is it for support. 6 heroes. Anyways, let me know what you guys think of the beta. I really want to know what you guys think about this beta. And if you're going to give Overwatch 2 a try, I also want to know if you guys agree with anything I said, with like especially regarding Doomfist and how it feels like you have to play actual dive with him. What do you think about these changes as a whole? What do you think about poor Genji, man? Genji getting a beat down in these patch notes. Let me know down below. With that, guys, I'm going to head out of here. Hopefully you enjoyed. I am looking forward to making more videos for you guys. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Later.